So here's the first layer of for the brewing station. Here's the second. So you want to make sure the hopper is facing towards the chest with the comparator coming out, and then on 4 ticks. Here's the third. Make sure the hopper is facing towards the block for the wall. Here's the fourth. You have the brewing stand with the hopper facing towards it. All these observers, so you want to place them towards it so they come this way. Same thing for the hopper towards the observer. Here's the fifth. You have a dispenser here with the water that's on top of the hopper. The hopper is facing towards the brewing stand with the comparator coming out. Make sure this is on also 4 ticks facing towards the dispenser. Here's the sixth. So we have it facing towards these are droppers. Make sure to put droppers here. All these hoppers here are facing towards this chest, which is placed on top, which is connected to the hopper. And then the last layer will be just to place redstone across like this. Now that's the build for it itself. Me personally, for the farm, I like to have extra storage for what I build. And to do that, you want to place chests across here so you can fill up these with more. You want to go ahead and place one into the brewing stand here. And then you want to place another right here for the bottles. This one here is for the bottles. This one here is for the blaze powder, and the rest here are for all the materials that go into the farm itself. You're gonna need 22 of any block to put to the hopper that's right here, just on top of the brewing stand. Fill it in. You want 19 and then 3 falling it, so you're gonna have 22. It has to be any block that's not, or item, should I say, that's not being used in the farm. So I don't want to have, if I am using, for example, redstone, I don't want to have it in the hopper. So any block works. So I could have used spruce wood, it doesn't matter, it comes out all to the same thing. So you're going to follow your order with the glass bottle, blaze powder, netherwort, spider eye, glowstone, fermented spider eye, gunpowder, and then the dragon's breath. You want your netherwort to be last. It has to absolutely be last on whatever your combination is for your potion. You want to put a netherwort inside of the brewing stand to make sure that it works. You can put your blaze powder here to fill it up, your bottles here, which will then in turn fill up the dispenser. Make sure that all the rows of the dispenser are being filled. So if there's not a row, when it's going to pick it up, it's going to mess up the machine and it's going to get stuck. Make sure not to stand too close while it's making the bottles also, which will in turn also break the machine. And then once you launch the machine itself, all the items will get pushed through into the chests here. So you'll have the spider eye here. You'll have all your items across here. Make sure the order is right. It's almost never happened to me the order has been right. So whatever ones are exchanged, you will go into your system, take them out, and switch them. So for example, we'll just say the dragon's breath and the netherwort are swapped out. So I'll break them, and then I'll swap them for the right one. I don't have any nether wart on me, but you'll just switch it out to wherever it goes to make sure it doesn't break the machine. Once that's done, once it's done brewing the potions, it'll start the next one, and they'll fill up here to this chest. So really quickly, I'll demonstrate how to set up with placing the items. So as we said before, you want to place inside of here. You want to make sure the brewing stand has a nether wart. You want to fill up the bottles inside the dispenser. All the rows have to have bottles. Next, you want to go into the dropper and place whatever item it is. So I have the spider eye, the glowstone, fermented spider eye, gunpowder. Earlier we switched these up, so I can just switch these back just so we have the right order. Boom. So once that's done, next you're going to want to turn on the machine, which would be by flicking the lever here. So once you flick the lever, it'll start crafting. All the items here will fill up. So going here. Oh, it seems the bottles seem to have not been crafted, but that's not too bad. We can just do it ourselves. Sometimes the first time whenever activating the machine, it doesn't work. So you want to make sure you have your 3 water bottles that will fill up by being activated by this. So next I'll take the items. So we see here, obviously, the dragon's breath and the gunpowder have to be changed. So now I will go here. I'll grab dragon's breath and gunpowder. So we know this one here is gunpowder. So this one has to be dragon's breath now. And this one has to be gunpowder. So next we'll take it out of here. Fill it in here. So don't fill them up all the way as soon as you can. I would wait a bit, make sure you have the order well done, and then I would do it. So I'll come back to you once it's done. So once it's done brewing like this, it'll fill back up with the nether wart. Supposed to see that this up here is empty. To go ahead and activate. Oh my god, the hopper was not there. I'm so sorry. It'll then activate this to make the bottles. Since the hopper wasn't there, it did lag a bit, so it didn't work. So let's go ahead and make the bottles. Make sure the order is still good. So you see the glowstone, fermented spider, dragon's breath, and another wart. These are normally the ones that get switched up. Normally these ones over here don't really matter as much. Just to make sure that it goes through. So boom, we got the awkward potions, gonna make the spider eye, the glowstone, and the spider eye gunpowder, and then dragon's breath. Once that's done, it'll come down through here, and then it'll fill up the chest with more arrows because it'll go through the system and whatnot. Make sure not to make any silly errors like forgetting the hoppers. That's why the dispenser was not filling up how like it was supposed to. So I'm just gonna wait for this to go through, and then we'll come back and check on it in just a second. So boom, now it'll fill up with the water bottles, all 3. This thing will fill up, make sure it has the right order again. It has the right order. And then it'll make our arrows. So like I said, you can make as many of these machines as you want. I tend to put the chest over here with the hoppers so you can fill up with as much material as you can. Normally what I tend to miss out on the most is the glass bottles. They're a bit harder to get. And then you just gotta make as many of these as you want to fill up into the machine, which then will make your arrows. So the next part of the system would be to hook up the machine, to go into the top of the auto crafter, to load into the auto crafter. The auto crafter has to be filled around with 8 arrows. There has to be a chest with a hopper, or however you want to do it, facing into the auto crafter with arrows inside of it. This will then lead out into a redstone pulse. You want it to be exactly this length to lead into the wall after. So once it hits 9, it'll lead into the wall, unlock the hopper, but since there'll be something into the middle, only around the hopper will be filled with arrows, not the middle. This will go around, taking a bit more time to go unlock this, which will allow the redstone pulse to go through into the auto crafter. So right under here we have it hooked up to the torch. It just passes through here, so it's as short as possible. Once it gets there, So once this goes in, you'll see it'll fill up the sides. Well, let me get a new one. Once it goes in, it'll fill up the sides as it does it. If this happens, if it does like that, alright, it does fill up. That means this is possibly not long enough. So if I go ahead and fill this up, it'll fill it up at the same time. On Donut SMP, which is where I built this, the hoppers fill up much faster. So it's not a problem you might run out or you might miss arrows. So obviously on a normal Minecraft, you might have to change that. But once you go ahead and get one inside, it'll go inside. Once the redstone pulse comes by, it'll craft it, it'll send it into the chest, and it'll continue to wait for more. So once it comes by, it'll fill up slowly the arrows, and then it'll craft it. Fill the arrows, it'll craft it. Fill the arrows, it'll craft it. Sometimes it does get jammed. It's kind of rare. It's never happened to me myself, but it does happen, as you saw in the beginning. Normally it's just at the beginning that it'll get stuck. After that, I don't seem to have any more problems. You can build this machine over and over and over again to have as many as you want. Hook it all the way up, all to the auto crafter, so that you can have as many potions as possible, so you can make even more arrows than you already have. Thank you for watching. Again, go to RexxStone's video if you want to see how to do the auto brewer more in detail. And again, this is like my harsh trying at building redstone, so it's not perfect. It's just what I could do. I'm not that talented, but it's just a simple system to make your arrows of harming. Thank you so much for watching.